to everyone that has taken the time to join this meeting today and this presentation today. And before I do get started, I'd like to introduce myself very briefly, as well as Miss MJ Park, who will also be sharing towards the end of the presentation. And it's actually going to be a bit of an interactive presentation towards the end if it's something that you're interested in. And prior to really diving into the meat of what we're going to be discussing today, I'd like to thank Sarah as well as Jalen for the time and effort that they've spent helping make this come to fruition, whether it is in person or virtual. It's definitely not a small task. So thank you, Sarah, as well as Jalen. The topic of today's conversation is, as you saw in the title of this meeting, a community wellness program, and in particular, a community wellness program that my company MooseFit has been holding for various organizations, schools, charter schools, as well as small groups within workplaces for a little over a year and a half now. And we were fortunate enough to be linked up with the Learning Center in Washington, D.C., and we've been working with them on this community wellness program since October of 2020. So we'll provide a little bit of background on the company as a whole, as well as some of the particulars of the program, and then a bit of detail around the program that we've been offering in particular for the Washington, D.C. Learning Center. And then Miss MJ Park will take everyone through a portion of the community wellness program that we provide that is referred to as the restorative circles or peace circles. So as you can see on the screen here, our team consists of Sophia Popple, MJ Park, Katie D, Matt Musavian, and that's myself, and Destiny Smith. All of the individuals on our team are very passionate about what we do and passionate about bringing health and wellness and accessible health and wellness tools and resources to anyone who is interested in those resources, regardless of their background or circumstances. You can see a little bit of an overview of the company. We have a number of different service offerings here, but the one that we will be focusing on today and that the community wellness and balance and wellness program comes out of is the business that we refer to as Wellness 360, where we focus on mind, body, and spirit as it applies to organizations, schools, and teams. So keeping things relatively high level here so as not to get bogged down in too many details, we are, as I mentioned, an organization that takes a lot of pride in the services that we provide to individuals and organizations. We truly do believe that health and wellness is and are resources that all individuals should be able to access. And it really is our goal to make those resources accessible. One of the ways that we have done that, in fact, is through the Wellness 360 business line that we have and the community wellness programs that we're offering. Specifically around the Wellness 360 offering that we have, it is a unique combination of three different aspects that, again, really focus in on mind, body, and spirit. We have customized daily movement, and that comes in the form of exercise that's delivered through our mobile application. We have bi-weekly yoga and mindfulness sessions, and then we have weekly social emotional learning sessions that come through, as you'll experience towards the end of the session, our restorative circles and peace circles that Miss MJ Park and her organization take the groups through. All of these programs have the capability to be named, branded, and customized for each of our clients. And what we've done with the Learning Center in Washington, D.C. is termed the program Balance and Wellness. And through conversation with the leadership at that Learning Center, we found that that was an effective title to name the program that conveyed the message we were trying to convey to the participants. Focusing specifically on the customized daily exercise, we do acknowledge, and this is the way that we operate as our entire business, that all individuals are unique in their needs when it comes to movement that they can do. Some individuals may benefit more and would benefit more from just being encouraged to get outside and take a 15 to 30-minute walk. Others may be a bit more experienced when it comes to the exercise that they're used to doing and need to be pushed a bit more. And for those individuals, we're able to program within our application exercise that challenges them appropriately. If they go to a gym and they use the equipment at the gym, all of their workouts will be designed with that equipment in mind. So every day when they open up their mobile application, they can see exactly what it is they should be doing as far as movement is concerned. So all of the weekly routines and daily exercises are tailored to that unique individual. and can always be adjusted. So as we've seen with some of the students and staff that we've worked with at the DC Learning Center, some individuals start off with a relatively basic and simple program, and it is our hope that they progress into slightly more advanced movements and slightly more challenging exercises. As you can see on the screen here, a couple of screenshots from our mobile application. Every morning when an individual opens up their phone, whether it's an iPhone through iOS or an Android through the Google Play Store, both are able to be downloaded. You see a daily overview of the exercise that is programmed for you. For this individual, they did not have access to any gym equipment, so all of their workouts are just body weight movements. We do start each day off with a nice morning questionnaire that allows students and staff to reflect on the way that they're feeling, how they slept, how their body's feeling, and all of the movements that are programmed through our application come along with a video that they can click in the top right-hand corner of that exercise. You see that red camera there, so they can watch a video on how to perform that movement properly. If that video is not enough of a demonstration, there's the ability for individuals to message their coach through the mobile application directly. They can ask questions about the movements, ask questions about the way that they should be adjusting movements if they need to. One of the neat features with the application as well is that we are able to create groups within the application. So a lot of times, and we've done this with the Washington, D.C. Learning Center, we do different challenges, month-long challenges, where we assign a combination of students and staff to a team. And then as a team, they, so to speak, compete against each other to see which group can complete the most exercises. There's no performance based when it comes to how they complete the exercises, just encouragement around actually completing the exercises. So on the left here, you see that group chat functionality, and then the middle and the right pictures are actually a team feed where individuals have posted post-workout selfies or can ask questions to the group about various aspects of the workouts that they're doing or anything in particular. And what we found with this is it does encourage, again, that community building aspect. So individuals that may not have had a chance to communicate with each other are doing so, and doing so around the topic of health and wellness. One of the great features with our application, as well as it applies directly to administrators that we work with the DC Learning Center, is there's a great reporting capability. One of the ways that we've utilized this, again, is through some of the challenges that we engage with. But as we progress and continue to strengthen our program with the DC Learning Center, it's our hope to begin to incorporate this as a curriculum class that individuals can select as a class they'd like to take. And then their grade and their performance in the class would be based on participation, how many workouts they complete, how many peace circles they attend, how many yoga sessions that they attend. So analytics is something that we're able to provide on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, however the administrator would like that to be reported back to them. Quickly, as it pertains to yoga and mindfulness, we do have yoga classes that we offer on a weekly or bi-weekly basis. These are done through Zoom. And they're for all levels and all backgrounds. 30 minutes long. The instructor Destiny is great with working with all levels of individuals, whether you are familiar with yoga or just learning yoga. It can be done sitting, it can be done standing, it can be done laying down, whatever that individual's ability is. And truly it does serve as a way for students and staff just to really take some time out of their day to stop and breathe and reflect while also combining some movement into their day as well. The next portion of the presentation is something that we will actually get to engage with and participate in the live setting if you are interested in at the tail end of this presentation. But it's our weekly social emotional learning restorative circles, and as MJ refers to them as peace circles. I won't spend too much time on this slide as MJ will be describing the peace circle methodology and why it works so well and why she's had so much success with it over the last 30 plus years. But as this slide deck is distributed to everyone, I do encourage you to take some time to read through because there are some really great guidelines around why the peace circles are effective and how the peace circles operate. What you see on the screen here now, and again, don't want to spend too much time on this because I would like to focus a lot of our time towards the end on the peace circle, but the way that we went about introducing this program to the Washington, D.C. Learning Center was beginning with a staff onboarding. Through this process, we provide a relatively detailed questionnaire, but a questionnaire that can be completed in about 5 to 10 minutes around the individual's background, athletic background, mindset background, the amount of time they have to exercise, the amount of equipment that they have at their disposal, so that we can create a program that is designed for them and that they can truly engage with. Once we had this information, we introduced the staff pilot, and this was purely just for staff members so that we could encourage staff buy-in. What we found is that once the staff were really involved with and engaged with the program, they were able to communicate and encourage students to participate on a much higher level than if we had gone without the staff pilot. And then likewise, once we rolled out this program to students at the DC Learning Center, there was the same onboarding process where we started with a questionnaire that allowed students to provide details about their background. And then we got into some monthly focus challenges to really focus in on and encourage engagement. These can be creative around the particular group that we're working with. With the DC Learning Center, we did a month 1 challenge that was based on exercise. And this was purely just how many workouts can you complete in the month. We broke individuals and students and staff into teams, a combination of students and staff, and the team that completed the highest number of workouts in that month was the winner of that month and received a small prize. Month 2, we did it around mindfulness. So it was how many peace circles and how many yoga sessions can that team attend in the month. What is great about the GEC process is that there is kind of rolling admission into the program as well. As your terms come and go on an 8-week basis, Dr. Kirk at the Goodwill Excel Center in DC has me come on and discuss the program with new students that are coming into that semester of classes to present the idea and to get them interested in the program so that we can then onboard them. So that's really the process that we go through in beginning to engage with a new student base and a new set of students and staff. Alongside these programs, we also offer some ad hoc additional support. On a weekly basis, I host question and answer sessions that students and staff can jump into to ask any questions that they might have about their workouts. We have the ability to host seminars for students and staff, whether that's around nutrition or other topics that individuals might be interested in. We also engage very closely with community partners throughout the area that we are working within. In DC, we obviously, that's where we are located. So we have a number of community partners that we partner with to allow and provide students and staff with some additional resources when it comes to health and wellness if they are interested in that. And lastly, administrative support. This is something that we take a lot of pride in because we do know that when a new program like this is introduced to a school, oftentimes there is concern over the amount of administrative work that it would take to run a program like this. And asking a teacher to do this on their own or a group of teachers to do this is potentially not something that the school would be interested in. And we take this all off of the shoulders of the administrators at the school. So we handle all of the onboarding, we handle new student onboarding, we handle new staff onboarding as well. Just a little bit of metrics as it pertains to the DC Learning Center program. We've had as high as about 50% student enrollment when it comes to new students coming into the program. And a lot of that is through the presentations that we do as new students come into GEC for that term. As far as workouts are concerned, we've seen about 65% engagement from students that are involved in the program, which since we've been running this program from October of last year, that means we've seen about 5,000 workouts completed, which is an awesome number to see. And when it comes to the yoga classes and the restorative peace circles, we've seen 30 and 35% engagement respectively, with about a 95 to 97 repeat engagement rate. And we really do take a lot of pride in that number. MJ has a really great way of engaging with students so that they very quickly realize that the students and staff, I should say, so that they very quickly realize the benefits of coming to the restorative peace circles, and they enjoy it. And a lot of times they've also brought in their family and shared their experience with other students and staff that they might know, which again, just increases the engagement that we have in these programs. I started to mention this earlier in the presentation, but as we continue to work with the DC Learning Center, we are continuing to develop the program. And some of our goals for the program as we move forward are to establish the program as an elective. When students are registering for classes, they would also select balance and wellness, or whatever the program for that particular school might be called, as an elective to further improve engagement in the program. As I also demonstrated earlier in the presentation, we can use the metrics and the reporting capability that we have to present grades as well as assessments at the end of the terms so that it falls in line with some of the other classes that you're offering as well. And then one of our largest goals, because we do take so much pride in this, and this is a direction that I am extremely passionate about, MJ is extremely passionate about, but we would like to roll this program out to all GECs across the country. And this is a great first step to make those introductions and to start to have conversations about the benefits of this program. And finally, before I hand it off to MJ, I'd love to share just a short 5-minute video testimonial of four students and one staff member that we've had participating in the program that were kind enough to share some of their thoughts with us about the program.
Your doorstep, Sam leaving.
For me, I wanted to remain healthy despite of the pandemic and just staying healthy.
I was able to kind of bring everything together. So it came at a time when I was probably feeling the lowest because I wasn't sure what was going on with mind, body, and spirit. And those months were rough at the beginning of the pandemic. So this was something that I needed.
Yoga, so the movement, even if sitting down, just a little movement, that was very helpful. Yes,
that my body actually needed this all along, and I was depriving myself of this, right?
Yes, it builds your self-esteem up, and it makes you want to, it motivates you to get out and do more. Mm-hmm. It's people like you all that don't judge or anything, and like I said, I still have a long way to go. I'm still trying to figure me out just as well.
Yeah, so, we're all on the path to peace, as MJ says.
Yes. And not only me just listening, my son actually sitting up here listening to y'all too. And he said, "Mom, look, you gotta pay attention."
I love it.
Finding that students are reaching out to us, not just for the professional work that I give them, but also looking at the lifestyle that we have now created individually through Moose.
I want to change the cycle. I want my son to change the cycle. I just want to live a normal life with, peace is the right thing. Of course, it makes me want to be a better person.
The piece certainly, I can say, really changed my life. Made me think differently about, people judging you, that just other stories if you just sit in and listen, So that has been very common to me, and I appreciate that.
Our students have said, well, I feel like I can come in and express that is what I have gained from those peace circles, that I'm able to kind of everything that I've been going through all week long, to be able to come in and express it and see where that works on the circle, right? And see what others are going to.
Like I said, turn, man, think about something negative that you was feeling that day, that moment, and you could turn it into a positive. It don't have to be a negative. And then I look, this was really again, I think, but Miss MJ will say, push down negativity and bring up positivity. Push down hate and bring up love. Now that was a good exercise to get. And I came there and see the Lord brought that back to my mind, because I have got, yes, that was a good exercise we did. So even regardless of the peace circle, what it's made for is just being around positive people that actually got something motivated for themselves, that want something different, that want changing themselves. They want, happiness too. And seeing what other people going through is actually building my support even better to get me motivated to get things done faster and because y'all doing things with yourself and it's gonna encourage me to do better and try to do better.
And MJ has been a blessing, and you and Matt as well. I can't thank you guys enough, and Chelsea, of course, because without her, this wouldn't got done. But I really appreciate y'all and hope we can continue this on and get other people out.
What I had before, like we as women, we look for little things that help define, whether we're doing a good job. And I found that I'm loving myself a lot more. I'm appreciating my body a lot more. Mentally, I'm realizing if my body's feeling this way, then what's going on up here? And so I found through this entire practice of being with the peace circles and the yoga and working out with Loose Fit and then implementing some of the things that I've been challenging myself to do, that I've become more well-rounded and really seek this as part of my life. It is a lifestyle for me now.
It's actually fun. It is.
Yay.
It's fun. Something new and different.
Well, I appreciate you guys taking the time to obviously sit through that. We, MJ and I and Katie, who you saw on as well as Destiny, have really enjoyed working with the students and staff that we've worked with. And as Dawn mentioned, Miss Rhodes, who was the staff member that was sharing some of her experiences, one of the great things about the Peace Circles is the ability to really deload and offload what has been, as MJ says, making your peace and breaking your peace. So with that, I'll pass it off to MJ. I will stop sharing my screen here and I'll pass it off to MJ to share a bit more about the Peace Circle process. And then as she'll mention, for anyone that is interested and comfortable, MJ is going to take the group through about a 40-minute or so Peace Circle. And I know it is at the end of the day here, and I know you've all been through a long day of conferences. And if you're not Zoom fatigued from the last 12 months, hopefully this doesn't do it to you. But I can assure you that you will enjoy the experience with MJ if you're able to stay on. So with that, I'll pass it off to MJ. And MJ, if there's anything that you need as you're going through, please feel free to let me or Jalen know.
All right. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Jalen, and I guess Sarah helping. First of all, I'm finding myself a little emotional listening to the video and watching it because those students have really been dedicated to Peace Circle, and so just to hear them was really special. I'm really happy to be with all of you. Just a little bit about myself. I'm actually from Illinois and from the Midwest, Minnesota. And I'm a teacher by background, parent of 6, and very passionate, obviously, about peace and justice. When I started Little Friends for Peace, I started with the mission and vision to help build a culture of peace. Well, now I'm seeing how the importance of inner peace, and we know social emotional wellness is talked about a lot in school culture and in communities and families. So we have been doing these circles as a way of helping people to do the inward check-in about how are you doing, and with the circle process, it helps you connect with other people and find out how they're doing and how they're coping. So for me, peace is not for a day or a season or a reaction to injustice or unpeace, but it's a way of life. And I think through my years of seeing what's going on in our world, I think we need to create space for peace and create tools and practices. So it's been awesome partnering with MooseFit and seeing that holistic approach to wellness. And as I do it in schools and in communities and in workplaces, and also in jails and restorative centers, this is the focal point, is the circle, because it's like the aha moment of, oh, I am experiencing this, I didn't really realize. So it's that mantra of stopping, checking in, and becoming self-aware. And in that process, that discovery, that investigation can lead to practices. What do I need? What do I want? Our one woman on the video there, when she said self-esteem, I remember the morning she came into the Peace Circle, she was losing her zip to continue as a student at Excel Center. She was losing the drive, and she said, I can't do it anymore. And she went on about her body and about overthinking and a bunch of stuff. And then what happened is it was like watching a flower bloom. As we, the rest checked in, and as we started doing some exercises for self-esteem building, and she got the tool for the day, she became a return member of the circles. So as you can see, I get very fired up about this because I do see all morning I was in with high school students, and in the beginning, they too were a little like, a peace circle, what's this? And what is it going to demand of me? And I said, it's a safe place for us to say what's on our mind and what we're feeling and what we're experiencing without judgment, without being called out, debate. And I know the phrase of how to have hard conversations or how to speak up with what you are experiencing is met with a lot of fear. And so our goal in our peace circles is to take away that fear and to create this safe space. So with our Peace Circle guidelines, we share that what goes on in the circle stays in the circle, and it is not a back and forth. It's not time to convince somebody of a certain ideology or way of operating, but again, a time to unload, express, and each time we do have a tool or a practice that we present. One that is really popular is the Stop, Think, and Act tool. And that one is helping people just stop, breathe, think through, do I want to fight my way through? Do I want to, walk away, or do I want to go the way of peace? And then of course the question is, well, what is the way of peace? And that is the fun part, is that through the tools and practices, we discover that we can equip ourselves with those tools and practices. I always tell people that this is based out of a lot of philosophy and ideology about peace, but it is really a practical toolbox. So it's not something where we're trying to convince somebody of some way. It's rather one, exploring what's going to work for me. What do I need? So Matt, if you could put up the wellness wheel, what do I need? Okay, well, how do I know what I need? Well, one of the ways is to check in with your wellness wheel. And maybe, I know there's a lot of wheels out there, and there's a lot of talk about health and wellness and balance. And I know with my 6 kids who are young adults now, often they'll call up and, the favorite question, how are you? Well, a lot of times they'll say, can we go through the wheel? And it's kind of a way of sharing. And that one side, mind, spirit, body, is what Matt's been talking about, that helped me to categorize. Okay, that's an avenue for me to check in. Am I overthinking? Am I overloaded? Am I carrying a lot? And how to be, that favorite phrase, be at peace with my mind, so that I can feel confident that I can do my work, accomplish my goals, interact with other people. Spirit, this has been a tough one, right, during the pandemic, especially when there is so much bad news. And so maybe you've experienced this in different environments, but I know in circles there's been a lot of, tough spirits. So how to help engage, or last night in one of the circles we were talking about how to spark positivity, how to get some joy going. And obviously it matches up with this workouts that MooseFit is doing, because when we do some exercising, it starts getting the spirits going, and then it's almost like we're letting go of some of the things that are heavy on our mind. And when we get those three areas at peace, then it affects our work and the people we're with and our feelings. And so this is kind of the way we start, and people put this in their journal, and it's a great way to reflect, check in, and it becomes a language too. A lot of people will say, oh, my wheel is imbalanced. I need some work on my wheel. I did have an experience with a group of adults, and one of the men threw it back at me and he said, MJ, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't feel peace at any part of the wheel. And so he was really frustrated. He was like, I don't know where to begin. So then we just broke it down, and I said, well, just take one of the pies and just focus on thinking, what's one place that I could investigate and try to tweak and make well. So the next week, he was the first one who raised his hand, and he said, MJ, I've got peace. And I said, wow, that was a big turnaround. And he said, no, I did what you said, and I found out that a lot of it in every area was based on my holding something that was big event going on for me, and I wasn't telling anybody. And he said, I told my family that I was struggling with some addiction, and he said they accepted me, and now they're helping me. And he was like, you could just tell he was so relieved, and his attitude was better. And he said, the Peace Circle gave me the courage because of listening to other people. So I think that's one of the things that happens too, is the community that's formed by feeling not alone. One of the people in the Excel Center was struggling with math and also ready to drop out. And I couldn't believe Katie and I were doing the circle together, and the power of encouragement was so great. And she said, I'm so glad I came in here today because I was ready to drop out. So what we see is when one's wellness wheel is balanced and in good shape, our productivity at our work goes better, our interactions with people are stronger, and obviously managing our feelings, they can change up and down at any time. So this again is one of the tools. We have about 13 different tool cards. And what's nice is if any of the members in the circle want to have a laminated small card for their backpack or their journal. So they've been asking me, MJ, can I have that wellness wheel or the mindfulness card or stop, think, and act? And again, it's like I felt when my kids were little and people would talk about parenting techniques, and I would say, I need a recipe that I can implement right away. And I think this is where LFFP calls answer unpeace or violence or disruption with skills and practices. So I'd like to, first of all, see if there's any questions or comments about Peace Circle, because I know that, I work with different principals of schools who are trying to create a climate and culture in the school or in the workplace. And they're saying, MJ, my workplace is not doing well because there's a lot of negativity, or people are not connecting with each other and isolating, but I don't know how to get it going. And if I say peace circle, they might say, what's that? And so I think that's very, very valid. Circles have been going on for many centuries. They go way back to Native Americans, and there are restorative circles and healing circles, but the peace circle is really trying to, balance health and wellness within oneself. Matt, I don't know if the underneath part is there, the checklist. So again, because of time, I didn't plan to go into this whole thing, but there is a more mapped out, conversation that we can have on a balanced wheel and what causes an unbalance, but then practices to grow peace. And again, I shared this tool card because people say, can I copy that out? I want to, discipline myself, kind of like we do with the workouts, what's a way to have a gratitude list? Or one person said, I haven't been doing any joyful play. And I'm gonna, do some playing board games with my family. Or again, one phrase I like to say is, how do I order my steps in the way of peace? How do I order my mind to think more peacefully, order my feelings, and get my body in a peaceful place? So any questions or comments? I can't see you all, but if you want to just jump in, be glad to take any. So just again, thinking about how to implement the idea of Wellness Wednesday, and maybe I am doing a peace circle every week at an organization that has about 13 staff members. And she wrote me this morning, she said, MJ, the staff is asking for the peace circles. She said, that's a good sign. So instead of seeing it as a burden, they were wanting the peace circle. So after you get through that first, what is this and what's going to be expected of me? And am I going to be judged, or do I have to perform a certain way? Once that is taken away and people experience it and they see it as a positive, it grows and it becomes something that people depend on as a way, just like you do anything that helps yourself feel better. Usually the takeaways are, I'm less anxious, I feel more positive, I feel more connected to others. And so I promote this as a once a week thing in schools and in workplaces and in families, to be intentional about circling up and checking in with yourself and others. So Matt, maybe we could do a circle here. If people are up for it.
Just to be aware of time, we have about 12 minutes left. So if there is, MJ, I think what might be best is to just do a quick check-in with everyone, as you would do at the start or at the end of a circle, just so everyone can get a little bit of a sense of that. And again, if nothing else, it just serves as a nice way, as these circles tend to sometimes, kind of offload and deload from your week. So MJ, with the 12 minutes or so that we have, for anyone that's interested in participating in this, I think it'd be beneficial for everyone just to kind of go through the check-in process that you have participants go through.
So we won't do the whole wellness wheel, but just as Matt said, you can say your name and where you're from, and if you'd like to say, what your field is or occupation, and in just general, what's bringing you peace, making you feel good, and what is breaking your peace. And it could be something today, or it could be, the last month, or in general. So I'll just say I'm MJ, living in DC, and what's bringing me peace is the nice weather, and also just a day of productive peace circles. So my mind is filled with some great energy from that. And also my son is getting married, and we're going to spend a weekend talking with them. And what's breaking my peace is, as I said, I'm from Minnesota, and just some of the events that have occurred and that are going on. There's a lot to process and a lot to manage. So I will pass it again. Can we see all the screens, rather than you could take down the wellness wheel?
Oh, I'm sorry about that, MJ. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And I can see if somebody would like by the way, this is the talking piece. If we were in person, we pass something. It could be a candle or a feather, but this is called the Hug a Planet. So if somebody would like the Hug a Planet, and check in.
MJ, I'll go ahead and go next so that
Okay.
others can get another chance to see what this is all about. Again, my name is Matt Musavian, also based in DC, and what's bringing me peace is the opportunity to be in front of all of you today. This is something that I've been working on for a long time, in a direction that I've been very interested in taking MooseFit in. It's great working with individuals in DC and working directly with consumers that are familiar with the health and wellness space as it pertains to attending fitness classes and those sorts of things. But for me, it's always been a goal of mine to be able to share this with a broader community and make health and wellness truly accessible. And this is a step in the right direction for our organization. So I'm very happy about the opportunity to be here. And as MJ shared, I think there's a lot of things that are weighing heavy on a lot of people's hearts right now, especially as the events of the past week unfold, and we just continue to see more and more of similar conversations happening that can be avoided. And I think, again, some of the work that MJ is doing, and hopefully the work that we're doing and can be able to do with more individuals, can help to turn that trend around, and at least start to have some conversations and make people feel comfortable talking about what they're feeling and how they're feeling about these things. So with this, I will pass the talking ball, the talking piece, to Jackie.
My name is Jackie, and I am the assistant registrar over the Missouri Excel Centers. The admin part of us is based in St. Louis, and that's where one of our 4 locations are. What's bringing me peace right now is just being able to be a part of the Excel Center and being able to be here today and meet more people. So I actually started the day the stay in place orders went into effect last March in St. Louis. So the fact that I've had a job through this pandemic, and just the great community, and being able, like, today was even more of a shedding of light of seeing, like, I'm connected to so many people that are doing work that I am proud to be a part of and want to be able to continue to be a part of, to bring about these awesome things to so many different people and to help encourage that. I think where I'm feeling unpeace is before today, so now I see that there are more people, but I still feel confused at a lot of times of, like, how do I actually move forward? And then just noticing lately, like, really starting to recognize and feel the loneliness that I'm experiencing. Like, I'm in a studio apartment, and so I've had to learn how to live in here by myself and work in my studio apartment during all this time. And then, so it's like I want to do things, but then it's hard to do because it's COVID. So just kind of grappling and dealing and figuring out how to reconcile all of that together is, I think, really what's causing me peace right now. So I will pass my talking ball to Carrie.
Hey everybody, I'm Carrie. I am a GEI guide in Indianapolis. I'm in 4 different schools. I recently started my position. I'm about 4 months in, so I guess not too recently, but still kind of getting the hang of things. What is making me a little uneasy is I've had a lot of changes within the last year. My mom contracted COVID-19 and ended up passing away in November. So my life was kind of turned upside down. And with that being said, I had to go through a lot of different changes. So I kind of packed up all my things and moved from Chicago to Indianapolis to be closer to the rest of my family. And so then I had to get a new job. Luckily, everything worked out, and I ended up finding the Goodwill and the Excel Center. And it's kind of been, it was an easy transition. I ended up getting hired pretty quickly. And so that took some worry off my plate. And I just recently bought a house. So just a lot of different changes happening for me. With that being said, though, some of it is pretty exciting. I mean, I love my job currently. And I ended up moving into my new house last weekend. So kind of hard times, but also I feel I see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Sorry for your loss, Carrie. You want to pass it?
Oh, yeah. I will pass the globe to Blanca.
Hi, my name is Blanca. I am the manager of office administration at Michigan Street. I started about 4 weeks ago, and something that brings me peace would be just getting outside. The weather's getting better here in Indy. Bought a house last month, so we're just painting and getting stuff moved in. I guess that would be one of the things that's breaking my peace, is just exhausting and so much to do. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And I pass the talking ball to Hannah.
Hi, I'm Hannah Anderson. I'm one of the life coaches at the Bloomington Excel Center. I would say something that's bringing me peace has been working out, going to the gym regularly, just kind of clearing my mental health and taking care of my physical health. And then something that's an area of discomfort for me is just transitioning from a recent breakup of 4 years. So just trying to kind of navigate life in a new setting now.
And
Yeah.
Jalen, I'm not sure if you'd like to participate, but you're more than welcome to.
Sure, I'll go. I'll take the talking piece. Hello, everyone. I'm Jalen. I'm with our national office. Something that's bringing me peace right now is being able to ride my bike and get back to playing tennis. Something that's breaking my peace right now is probably just the news cycle and a lot of the social injustices that keep taking place. So that's probably where I'm at right now.
Thank you. Tammy or Anna, would either of you like to go? Okay.
No problem. MJ, I do think we're getting close to time here. So if you just want to do a quick little sign off, and then I'll do a quick sign off, and
okay.
We can enjoy the rest of the evening.
Thank you for participating. And I always feel like, oh, how would it have been if we would have just left the circle without some connection? So I feel more connected to all of you. And also just that little nugget you shared, from the joy to the challenge. I don't know, I just found my heart kind of, both for the end piece and the piece. So that's what happens. And hearing your roles in the schools and what you're doing, we would love to implement the Peace Circles and partner with all of you. So I hope to hear from you, and thank you for sharing and welcoming me in this space. And
yeah. Thanks, MJ. And thank you everyone for taking the time. Again, I know you're at the end of the day here, so really do appreciate your enthusiasm and participation in that final portion. As MJ said, well, as I say, and as we saw, I am someone that's close to my chest with my feelings, and over the last 8 years really of knowing MJ and experiencing these Peace Circles firsthand, I have slowly but surely started to change, and the Peace Circles are a great way, and it really has that effect on even some of the hardest of heart individuals that we've come across. So as you are kind of thinking about these things and reviewing the presentation, please feel free to reach out with any questions. I'm sure Jalen and Sarah will be sharing contact information, but would love to hear from you. MJ and I would be happy to jump on the phone and have a continued discussion around any of the points that we covered today. So thank you all very much, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, MJ, so much.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for, providing us that circle time.
Great, thank you. And have a great weekend, everybody. Let go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. You
Bye.
too. Bye-bye, guys.
Bye.